Today's video is brought to you by Skillshare. Honey fermented garlic is delicious, but it is also a really powerful immune system builder, and you need it in your life. Today, we are going to show you not only how to make it, but we are going to talk about all of the health benefits to it. Let's get going. So for this process, you are just going to need a few things. Raw honey, and we'll talk about why in a second, garlic, and a clean sterilized jar. That's it. Make sure 100% sure that you are buying raw, unpasteurized honey for this process, because it contains all the phytonutrients and all the enzymes within it that you need for the fermentation process. Other honeys that are pasteurized aren't going to do anything. They are not going to ferment the garlic at all. They're not going to give you that those beneficial microbes for your gut. So it's got to be raw honey. Also, a lot of honeys at the store are cut with other things like corn syrups and junk that you just don't need. It's not real honey. Get the raw honey the best you can. And if you don't grow your garlic yourself, and you should because it's really, really easy, then find yourself some good organic garlic. If you want to learn how to grow garlic, click on the card at the top of the screen. So as an aside note, onions can also be used in this process. We make cough syrup with honey and onions, and onions have more juice in them. We're going to talk about why that's important in a second with the garlic, but you can do it with onions. So keep that in mind. Or you can mix the garlic and onions together. That's also fantastic. But obviously this video is about honey and garlic. Now both honey and garlic are known for their medicinal properties. And garlic, of course, is a strong antibiotic. Everybody should have garlic in their diet, and quite a bit of it. Honey has antibacterial properties, antifungal properties, and it's also a powerful antioxidant. The raw stuff, of course. So this is a simple 3-step process. And step 1 is to prepare your garlic. Let's show you how to do it because you need to do it specifically to help that honey in the fermentation process. Our garlic, the way we grow it, I don't know. The skin just kind of falls off. It's super easy. If it doesn't fall off for you, let's do this. And that is crack it open with the side of a big flat knife. Just use the palm of your hand, crack it like that or smack it, and that skin comes right off. Now, what that does is it cracks open the clove a little bit, and that's a good thing. What the honey needs to get the fermentation process started is just a tiny bit of liquid, and cracking and bruising that garlic clove does that for you. Before I move on to step 2, I need to tell you about today's video sponsor, Skillshare. So if you didn't know, I'm always looking for ways to improve these videos for you. And that includes building my knowledge in video creation, editing, Photoshop, and other areas. If you didn't already know, Skillshare is an online learning community that has thousands of classes to help you acquire and learn new creative skills. Right now, I'm taking a class called Cinematography Basics by Zach Mulligan. My goal is to improve how our videos look so I can better visually communicate our story or the project. I am excited to continue learning and discovering new skills that I can utilize to grow the channel and present better information for you guys. To help you make 2022 a year of new learning and growth, the first 1,000 people to use the link in my description box or my code, Country Living Experience, a Homesteading Journey, will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. After that, they offer an annual membership for less than $10 a month. Head below, click the link in the video description to start exploring today. Now, let's get back to the honey. So whatever jar you choose, you're going to want to fill it only about halfway full of garlic. We'll put a little bit more in this one, but the reason is once the garlic starts to ferment, it will start to actually drop down in the honey because the honey will actually get more liquid and thin out. Now this one over here is 4 days old, and you can see the honey is much thinner than what it is in our big jar here. That's because that fermentation process has started, and you can tell that it's started by all the bubbles that are forming inside. And we're going to talk about an important third step in a second, so do not skip that. So when you have the desired amount of garlic in your jar, whatever size, you're going to want to cover it with about an inch of honey, and definitely leave a decent amount of headspace in each jar, probably an inch to an inch and a half. Now, like I said, you want to cover your garlic by just about an inch. So we're going to let it seep down inside. Now, if there are any pieces of garlic that don't get any honey on them, we want to get them down into that honey so they're completely coated. That's important, but this is going to be the only time we stir it and open it up, and I'll tell you why in a second. Once you have the desired amount in the jar, cap it up. Make sure your rim is clean, like with any other canning process. So once you have everything sealed up solidly, you're going to set it on the counter. But it's really important. Step 3 is to burp the jar once per day for the first 2 weeks. So this isn't really a process that you want to start if you're going on vacation. So I've left this one here to show you what the burping is. And it is the fermentation process producing gases. And you can see this pop top here is popped straight up. So there are gases in here that are waiting to escape. And we have the lid on tight. Now what we're going to do is just crack it open really fast. Here we go. I hope you heard that on camera. And then seal it back down really quickly. And that is because we don't want any oxygen getting in here. If you need to recoat the garlic that's floated to the top, simply make sure it's tight, flip it over for a second, and then come back over. There's no need to store it on its top. There's no need to open it and stir it, which I really don't recommend. Just flip it over once, twice a day maybe, and you're good to go. Now you can see the fermentation process here. All those little bubbles that are forming is that reaction that's happening between the honey and the juices and the garlic itself. Okay, you're asking, how long does this stay around for? Well, there's accounts of it lasting for years and years. And I'm not going to tell you how long. If you see any mold growth in here, get rid of it. If you are concerned at all with discoloration on the pieces of garlic, you can get rid of it, but some discoloration is okay and it's not harmful at all. So before I talk about some other benefits of this, I want you to be aware that you should not put this in the refrigerator. This is to be kept out at room temperature. And that's because chilling it down in the refrigerator will all but stop the fermentation process, and you don't want that to happen, especially for the first month that this is working. So you will have to burp this about once a day, like I said, for the first 2 weeks. After that, I would give it 2 more weeks to ferment completely, I guess you could say, or to get to a point where you can actually start to eat the garlic or use the honey as a sauce. And that is another one of the benefits of this. This is a delicious condiment or sauce to be used in cooking. Another benefit is now you also have a mellowing of these garlic cloves. If you're really sick and you want to pop a garlic clove, one bite on that is going to send you through the roof. It's super spicy and not a lot of people can handle it. But after just a few weeks, those garlic cloves mellow out so much in that sharp flavor that it is no issue eating it at all. Another big benefit is you can preserve your garlic harvest. Garlic does stay around for quite a while in the house, but it will start to desiccate, shrink down, shrivel up, and then it's really not that great anymore. But if you do this to it, you've got a lot of other benefits and you've preserved your good garlic that you just worked hard to grow in the garden. So in addition to the great medicinal properties of this, and I highly recommend it as a cough syrup, works great for my family, it feeds your gut biome or your flora in your stomach and intestinal tract. And that's super important if you've heard anything about the gut-brain connection. If you haven't, go check it out. And if you want an even better flu fighter than this, add a little cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is unique in its properties and its healing properties. So we're not going to get into that today, but I might do that in the future. if you have time, I'd check out the healing properties of cayenne pepper as well. Now, some of you might be concerned about botulism, especially if you leave it out. Well, put that concern to bed because honey, raw honey, has a pH that is at a range where botulism cannot survive. It's way too acidic. That's the importance of using raw, natural, unfiltered, unprocessed honey. The other honey in the store, which is processed and cut with other things, has the incorrect pH. Do not use it. Do not let that sit out. So if after 7 days you're not getting any more fermentation and you hear that top being able to pop, then you can stop burping the jar. Just stop the burping process when you think it's time. Use your best judgment. Thanks for watching how to make this honey fermented garlic. If you have any questions, leave them for me in the comment section below. Now go check out this video right here, which shows you an old school method of how to lacto-ferment vegetables. Have a beautiful, blessed day. We'll see you next time. Bye.